What's up, guys? Blade Master here, and you're watching another episode in the Udariel MVP series. This is, I believe, the fourth episode, and this one is going to be focusing on the latest addition to the Suebi roster, the Round Shield Swordsmen. So, I believe they came out as part of the August update, and they're not part of the Daughters of DLC. So, I believe Daughters of Mars DLC. So, I believe they're a free unit and a free addition to the Suebi roster. They are a 450 talent cost unit, so they would rank in the lower tier of melee infantry. But this episode is going to try and prove to you that they are anything but low tier infantry. They're actually very capable and very strong. So let me go over what their best uses are, and then I'll just move over to the unit stats to get a more detailed look at their statistics. They are best used as a frontline unit. They wouldn't be very good against enemy cavalry, but they are incredibly effective against enemy infantry. Their best use is when you pop in Pride, because come to know about this in a bit, but they have very high weapon damage, but a lot of it is just base and very low armor piercing damage. So combine that with Pride, and these guys will be incredibly fearsome. Another unique aspect of them is that I believe, they're the cheapest unit that has the headhunt ability, which is very useful, of course. So let's move on to discussing their unit stats in a bit more detail. So let's take a look at these guys' stats. So Round Shield Swordsmen have 40 melee attack, which is quite strong. Consider that these guys are just 450 talents. 40 melee attack for them is very good. 38 melee attack for Bloodsworn's okay, but where it really makes a difference is 40 melee attack combined with 39 weapon damage. That's a lot of weapon damage. Mind you, a lot of it is base damage, and only 4 of it is armor piercing. But just to compare that with something like a sword master, which is a very capable unit on its own, the base damage is 40 versus what was it, 35. So it's just a 5 difference in base damage. The AP is the same. And armor piercing, it does matter a bit, but you have more than enough tools to completely change their weapon damage with Arya Vistas. Pop in Pride, and that 39 weapon damage is going to be something like 64 or 65. um, they don't, I mean, they have average bonus versus infantry, and they've got a decent charge bonus. Melee defense isn't great, but from my experience, melee defense doesn't matter all that much. Armor matters a lot more, but again, they have pretty low armor. Their health is okay, and their base morale is quite good. Now, these stats are okay. I mean, apart from the weapon damage and melee attack, which is really strong, they have only average stats. So why are they the real MVP? Well, one, and the biggest one, is that they have headhunt. So they are currently the cheapest unit that has headhunt, I believe. So what headhunt does is it's a massive boost. It gives you a gradual increase in your attack, and of course, when you pop headhunt, you have unbreakable morale. um, the unbreakable morale is susceptible to once your entire army routes. But other than that, they have around 250 morale once headhunt is activated. So it's a very useful and incredibly effective ability to have, and something that's reserved only for like the strongest units. So the next cheapest unit, I believe, that has headhunt is the chosen swordman, and they cost 730. So that's a massive difference in price. So you're getting definitely the cheapest unit that has header, and that's a massive bonus. They also have wedge ability, which could be a bit useful, but I wouldn't really trust it. um, and they've also got shield wall, which is okay. You wouldn't want to put these guys in shield wall because their armor and health is terrible, so it's not going to make much of a difference. They're much more useful as an offensive unit, as an offensive first line, I would say. So comparing them to Axe Warriors, which are the closest that I can come to in terms of a comparison, these guys cost 470 versus 450, and on the looks of it, they have lower melee attack. They have much lower weapon damage. Mind you, 16 of it is armor piercing, so they have higher weapon damage. Their charge bonus is slightly low. They have higher melee defense, and they've got much better armor. Uh, the same or 5 better health and better base morale. So these are, we all know that axe warriors are very capable mid tier units, but one thing that is lacking is that they don't have headhunt. So I think that makes all the difference. These round shield swordsmen are just in such killing machines when it comes to popping headhunt on them. And on top of that, when you have Ariovistus, this 24 charge bonus is going to go to something like 770. And more useful for them is the Pride ability, which gives them access to that untapped armor piercing damage, which gives them a much higher bonus. So now that we've taken a quick look at them, let's see how they do in battle. So here I've got a line of three round shield swordsmen backed up by a hexbearer unit, and I've popped fast charge and pride on them. You can see that even though it's kind of combined, they're just destroying this royal cataphract, which shouldn't be dead by so soon. You can see their weapon damage is all the way up to 64, and considering that they had 39 or 35 base damage, the rest is all armor piercing, so they would be very effective. And now they're going to charge up against a line of three Parthian swordsmen. I believe my spear wall and my spear women unit are not attacking in this, so it's just going to be my round shields versus his Parthian swordsmen. So in on top of all the abilities, I've also popped headhunt, and you can just see how quickly the numbers are just climbing up on these guys. So 85 kills on Parthian swords already, and it's counting. Um, this round shield swordsman has completely eradicated. Sorry, this one has completely eradicated this Parthian swordsman. They're routing. Um, these ones have done really well, 103 kills on this one, and they're wavering now because of the elephants, but and also because their headhunt is down. But all in all, for 450, the fact that they've been able to destroy Parthian swords who cost 720, that itself is a massive feat. You can see one of them haven't been used effectively, but the ones that actually got a good charge and were in extended melee with the Parthian swords, they got 122 and like 110 kills each. So definitely very cost effective against mid-tier infantry for sure. Parthian swordsmen aren't the best mid-tier swords, but they're definitely very capable, and they should be able to hold out against a unit that costs only 450. But with the special abilities and with headhunt, of course, they are. They, I mean, I hope I've proved that they can be very capable units against other melee infantry. Here they are attacking some Tillis infantry and cavalry. Mind you, I haven't used a fast charge properly, so the charge bonus doesn't affect them. But this gives me a good idea to, or a good way to try and establish that they're very capable without these special abilities on their own. Here they're attacking some old stone and some noble horse, and also a couple of Thracian warriors. Um, and you can see that they've already got 20 kills on this one, 35, 26, 27, and again for a cost of 450, you don't really expect units to do too much. But take a look at their stats now: 55, 60 melee attack, 64 weapon damage, and 225 base morale. So with head on, they're just unstoppable. I mean, they can be killed with archer fire very easily, and with like skirmish fire because they have low armor. But in terms of extended melee, these are very capable units, especially if you use Ariovistus. But even if you don't use Ariovistus or don't use it properly, they can be quite strong. Here they are, rear charging these Oathsworn, and while one of their weaknesses compared to an axe warrior would be that they're not as good holding swords. um, they do have the ability to pierce and cut through enemy infantry very quickly, which I think is a much more useful ability for a low tier sword unit to have. So 63, 48, 105. Definitely, if I think more than fast charge, I think a much deadlier ability to combine these guys' strengths with is pride. Because as we know, the base weapon damage for these guys is 35, which is very strong. And if you put pride on top of that, it goes up to 64. So basically, half of that is base damage and half of that is armor piercing. So very capable units in that sense. Let's take a look at their stats. 119, 29, 63, and 59. So for a combined cost of around 1800, they've brought me what, around 250 kills. Yeah, say 120. Yeah, this would total so around 200 to 250 kills. So very very strong units, especially against other infantry. Their base damage is quite high, and with pride, they can take on any other infantry. So this is just another clip that proves that. So let's take a quick look at their strengths and weaknesses again. Let's start off with their weaknesses this time. Their weaknesses is definitely against cavalry. Because of their low armor and their low health, they will be pretty susceptible to a charge against cavalry, just like the rest of the Suebi units. Where their strengths lie is definitely against mid-tier to low-tier infantry. Here you can see them just plowing through some naked warriors, and they're also rear charging this oath sword. So they're very useful against enemy melee infantry, and definitely a great way to take out pesky spear units who are on the flanks. Um, but you got to watch out for a cavalry. You also have to watch out for skirmishers and archers and slingers. They're susceptible to all of them. And I think that about covers their weaknesses. What are they best used for then? They're best used as, in my opinion, a first line infantry, uh, but not a first line as in a cannon fodder type of infantry. Obviously not. They're much more useful as a first line infantry because they once you pop in fast charge and use pride, they can be very capable at quickly doing a lot of HP damage and killing a lot of enemy units. And then you can come in with your noble horse and your maybe your sword masters and your berserkers to take out whatever is left. And yeah, I think that about covers it. Maybe if you pop in frenzy along with pride, it could be very useful. Actually, they don't have frenzy. So yeah, that if they did, then maybe their weapon damage would have been through the roof in that case. But yeah, so strengths. Best use strengths are high weapon damage, high melee attack. Best use as a frontline infantry, maybe on the flanks as well. Um, their weaknesses are skirmishers and archers, and being charged by enemy cavalry. So I guess that about covers it for this episode of You're the Real MVP. And hope you guys enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more coming very soon. Peace.